Welcome back to Trailer Trash Flips. It is Monday afternoon. I've got 6 items going out today for a total of $167.40. The bulk of that actually came this morning. My sales were really horrible over the weekend. Friday afternoon, I had 1 sale. I had 0 sales Saturday. I had 2 sales. It was late Sunday. It was late Sunday that I had those sales. And then I had 4 today. I had a listing pulled down from eBay, and I was kind of afraid that that would happen. Although there were plenty of sold comps on this item and some other ones that were listed. It was a lymphoma press with the leg sleeves, and apparently they're prescription only. And it kind of sucks because this thing I've got $4 into, and most of them sell at least around $200 or up. So, you know, that kind of stings. But I was looking at Mercari did have some listed, so I may be able to list it on Mercari. And Mercari is something that I've been putting off for a while, just because I've been more focused on eBay. But my friend Kim, she's now cross-listing on Mercari. She has been for 2 or 3 weeks, and she's had a few sales there. So I guess this may be maybe the kick in the pants that I need to start doing at least some cross-listing there. I do want to thank those of you who commented a couple videos back about some plush that I had found. Well, I didn't find it. It was actually garbage that was going to be thrown away. I did have some trouble when I was quickly trying to comp those items. And some viewers commented about the Pokemon and that big 2.5-foot doll. And a viewer also helped me with the frog. They said it looked like a Rainforest Cafe frog. And I wasn't home when I read that comment, but I did look it up, and I think that's it. I haven't actually matched it up yet, but I'm pretty sure that was it. So thank those of you who helped me out with that. Now on to my Vero. I could go into a long tirade about eBay cowering down to companies and first sale doctrines, but I think most of us already are well aware of the situation. But the Vero I got was on this book. And as you can see, it was already sold on March 18th. And even though it's already been sold, I know you can still get a Vero because I've seen that happen to other sellers. I also had this book listed, which is the previous edition of the same book. And I did not get a Vero on that one, but I did go ahead and pull that out of my inventory because I didn't want another Vero. It's been a very long time since I've had a Vero. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember what the last one I had was. And I've only had maybe 2, I think, since I've been selling on eBay. I also know from the message that it was not reported directly by the American Psychological Association. It was reported by a company that they use to protect their intellectual rights. Now, do I think that that book was a counterfeit? I don't think so. If I had any indication of that, I wouldn't have listed it. But I also think we all know that the Vero system is really abused by a lot of companies, and I don't even blame the companies who abuse it. I blame eBay for letting it get abused. I'm not really sure what the purpose of reporting a Vero is after an item is sold. Maybe I'm missing something there. So I went and took down the other book just as a precautionary measure. Now, luckily, it does not appear that I'm going to be penalized by eBay. Now, they may put me on some blacklist for a while, which that wouldn't surprise me. So moving along, I'm going to go pull my orders. In H6, I've got a kangaroo plush. And this is like a kangaroo plush remote holder. I know it's probably hard to see, but there's a little pouch right here to put the remote in. And this sold for $6.95 plus shipping. In M1, I've got a baseball cap. It is a Schaefer beer baseball cap. And this sold for $18.95 plus shipping. In 05, I've got a weighted training vest without the weights. And this sold for $19.95 plus shipping. In 02, I've got a book. Black Rednecks and White Liberals, and this sold for $11.65 plus shipping. Back in my eBay room, and I've got 2 bats going out. They're kind of stuck back there in the corner. That sale that just came through is in the F bin, and it is a pack of Presto Salad Shooter replacement cone blades. And this sold for $21.95 plus shipping. I had another sale while I was in my eBay room, and it's in M7. It's a pair of mossy oak jersey gloves. And these sold for $6.95 plus shipping. Here's everything going out today. What was 6 items is now 8 items, and it does bring my total up to $196.30. The first item is this book, 50 cents or $1 at the bin store. Next were these camouflage mossy oak jersey gloves. Now these came from my dad in a big lot of stuff that he had given to me. And I'm always wondering about stuff like this. See, there's a price tag on here of $246. Now I sold these for $6.96 plus shipping. And even on the photo of my listing, you know, you can see that price right there. I didn't try to hide it or anything. So, you know, I'm always wondering if the buyer is going to be like, well, these are only $246 in the store and he charged me more, so I'm gonna give him bad feedback. I don't know. I mean, to me, something is worth however much you will pay for it. They're all in at $13.19, so I guess they really wanted those. Next was this weighted exercise vest. Came from the bin store. I paid $4 for this. It does not have the weights. With the weights, it would sell for probably close to double that. Next are these 2 bats. Both of these came from an estate sale, which I think is at this point the only estate sale video I have on my channel. I paid $8 for each of these. And a funny thing is, this Easton sold this morning. Well, they both sold this morning. But I was doing some listing and I was on the phone with a friend while it came through. And I looked and I'm like, I thought I had it listed for more than that. And I thought I had maybe made a mistake on the comps. I don't think I did after doing a little more research, but I was actually hoping that it was this bat. And I was a little disappointed that it was this one. So anyway, I went and I like, well, maybe it must be the Marucci that I had listed for more. So I went and looked it up and I realized that I had the word bat nowhere in the title for this bat. I had all the specs and stuff, but it did not say the word bat. So I put the word bat in there and literally less than 2 minutes later it sold. So pretty nice sales just between these 2 bats today. Next, I've got these replacement blades for the Presto salad shooter, which I picked up at an estate sale not long ago. And you can see I've still got some parts here. And the reason is because I've been doing some listing here in my eBay room, and I've been doing some listing in my listing lounge, which is in my living room. I've been listing in both places. I did get to the point of porting out the blades and getting them listed, but then I left my eBay room, so I haven't finished that stuff there yet. But anyway, I decided that porting these out, I'm definitely going to get more money than listing the salad shooter by itself. Next was the Schaefer beer cap. I actually just listed that last night, and it was a bin store item, probably $1 for that. And finally, the little plush kangaroo remote holder. I've had it listed for a while. I did drop the price not long ago. It's pretty cool. I almost thought about keeping it for myself, but I don't really have a place to put it. And with that said, I guess I need to get these orders packed, because you remember, I don't remember if it was last video or the one before, I talked about older parents, and when they have a problem, it often becomes your problem. It's one of those deals. My dad wants to ship tomatoes to my great aunt who lives in Missouri. I do want to say I've gotten these tomatoes from my dad several times. They're supposed to be these really good tomatoes that are locally grown. And I mean, they're good, but they... Look, maybe I'm not a tomato connoisseur, but they taste just like tomatoes. I don't notice any difference in them. And I had them twice last week. But he wants to ship these tomatoes to Missouri because they're supposedly so much better than what can be bought in the store or at farmers markets or whatever. So, you know, he calls me up and is like, hey, I got these tomatoes I need to ship. And look, he's going to pay a lot of money to ship these. He wants to ship them priority mail. He won't even go ground advantage. And so I've got to go and bring some bubble wrap. You remember me talking about him being a Facebook addict? Well, he's like, I found on Facebook how you ship tomatoes. So he's talking about newspaper and garbage bags and bubble wrap and priority mailboxes, and it's not going to be a thing where I just go and we do it and it's going to be done in like 5 minutes. The process is literally going to be half an hour for these tomatoes, and it's 6 tomatoes. So I've got to bring some bubble wrap and some packing paper, and I'm going to bring a couple different boxes and a tape gun to his house so we can get these tomatoes shipped. And it would be easier if I had pirate ship, which I don't. I do all my shipping through eBay. If I had known ahead of time, I could have maybe went ahead and opened a pirate ship account to save him some money, although for him money is like, it's nothing. You know, if it costs him $30 to ship them, he will. So I guess it probably didn't ultimately matter, but I do have to get these orders packed up so we can go get to Project Tomato. It's a good thing he doesn't watch my videos. I'm here at this store because I know they have replacement lid handles for pots and pans, and I need one for my Magnolite dish that I showed the other day. So after I get done in here, I think I'm going to walk next door to Goodwill, since it's been a long time since I've been. As soon as I walk in the Goodwill, I spotted a pair of Converse Chuck Taylors, and they look to be in pretty good shape, very little wear. Now, I don't really do all that good with shoes, whether it's tennis shoes or dress shoes, and I just really have a hard time selling them. But these were only $6, and I did decide to go ahead and get these because they were in such good shape. I looked at a few other pairs, and I actually comped a few other pairs and didn't really see anything that looked all that good. But I'm really not a shoe seller, so it's always likely that I may have passed by some brands that were, you know, worth picking up. I found this Easy Bake little oven thing, and they had a garage sale price of $22 on it, and Goodwill also priced it at $22, so that pretty much ruled that out. Couple tennis rackets here. They were in really bad shape. I did look at them further than what I show here on the video, and this little broken up, I don't know what it was, but it was all broken, so I passed on that. Looked at this Pyrex measuring cup. I might would have picked that up for myself, but it was $3, so I did not get that. I've spent a good bit of time looking through the books and comping some of them in the past at Goodwill, and I've never found anything worth reselling. I have found a few books that I've bought for myself, but I've really never found anything worth reselling. Same with the video games and the DVDs. I think out of all the times I've been to Goodwill, I found one game that was worth reselling. I saw this beanbag toss game and decided to check it out, but with a price tag of $12.99, it was just too much to make any money on. This little Disney Encanto doll, it was actually priced at eBay prices, so really wasn't any money there. I did spot these hot rollers, and I've had pretty good luck with hot rollers. And these were priced pretty low at only $3.99. So I wanted to comp them and also check to make sure that they worked. The case was in good shape, and I didn't see any issues with them. Breakables are something that I rarely buy. And I'm looking at this particular piece right here, but the last time that I bought something similar to this, it was a big clay art platter. and I packed it very, very well, and the post office still managed to break it. So unless I found something just outstanding in the breakables department, I probably wouldn't pick anything up. This is kind of an overview of the hard goods section of most of the Goodwills in my area, and they're just not that good. When I see other resellers go to these Goodwills and there's just aisles and aisles and shelves of good products, I'm really kind of jealous at how much stuff they have access to. But again, this Goodwill is very representative of most of the Goodwills in my area. Saw a bunch of old junky tools here in the trash can. I'm not going to fool with them or these floor cleaners. In this little section here, I have found some stuff in the past, so there's usually not a lot here, but I do try to look at everything. I found some more hot rollers, and unfortunately the comps on these were not very good, and at $8 plus the lid was broken, I decided to pass on those. Found a little skateboard, which was not old. It's obviously been sitting outside and in really bad shape, but just kind of a junky made in China skateboard there. I decided to look at this a little further, this toothpaste and bottle holder, but it's just some Amazon stuff. I did comp it, and it's just way too big and too much money for me to even try to get and resell. And then I saw there was a few more of them over on the other shelf, but nothing that I was interested in. I grabbed one of these boxes. I don't even remember what it was, but it was just more Amazon stuff that really didn't have any value. This thing here, I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't spectacular enough for me to do any further research on. I decided to look at this, which is an air fryer and fondue maker. Maybe, I've never heard of that, but maybe that's a thing. And I saw that there was a garage sale price of $5 on it, and it appeared to be new in the box. So I started looking into it to see, and it was in fact new. So I comped it, and it looks like comps are about in the $35 to $40 price range. Unfortunately, I never found a price on the box other than the garage sale price, so I decided to put it in the cart, and I would just take it up to the front and see what they said. Just some seasonal stuff here. I looked at this mug. I don't even know why. I thought the mug was kind of cool, but it's not anything that I'm going to try to resell. I'm probably missing out here, but I just generally don't look at the clothes. I always go to the hat and cap section before I go, but as you can see, it was pretty pathetic. Okay, I'm back at home. Actually, I've been at home for a little while, but when I got home, I had to cook and, do all those things. So you saw me go to the store and pick up this little replacement. And what happened was, if you remember a video or two back, I think it was last video, I had this Magnolite Country Collection lid. Well, the handle was loose and it was spinny and it had a little play in it. So I tried to tighten it up, but on the inside there, it was like a screw, but there was no, on the head of it, there was no way to use a screwdriver. It was flat, kind of like a rivet. So I took some pliers and I held it, and then I took the wood handle and tried to tighten it. Well, all that did was break off the little rivet screw. And I'm calling it a rivet screw because, like I said, there was nowhere to use a screwdriver on it. It just had a flat head like a rivet, but it did have threads. So I attempted to fix this. Now, unfortunately, part of the screw rivet broke off inside. So I drilled what I could out. And then I put this, see, it's broken now, but it wasn't broken at the time. I put it on and I tried to screw a screw into it, and it basically split this wood. And I was kind of figuring that might happen. And it did. So I left and went to the store that you saw me go to. And if you notice, there were several different ones I could have picked from, but at least this one has a wood handle. And I thought that would go a little better on this lid because the original handle was wood. And this was only like $2, so hopefully that will fix that up. So at Goodwill, this Bravetti thing that I couldn't find a price on, when I went up to the checkout, I said, you know, I didn't see a price on here other than the garage sale price. And I said, you know, that looks kind of like maybe a $3.99 item. So the cashier, she's looking, she looks on the bottom, and the price was on the bottom, the one place I didn't look. And it actually only ended up being $2.99. So I only had to pay $3 for this. The comps I saw looked like maybe $35 or $40 for that. The Chuck Taylors do seem to be in pretty good condition. You know, there's a minor scuffing right here on the toe, which that comes off pretty easily. The only issue that I really saw with, well, there's a little bit of dirt back here. That's not a problem. But right here, you can see, well, it's kind of got some lighter spots. So I don't know what that is. So hopefully that's not going to be too much of an issue. I got a real hard time trying to sell shoes. I mean, man, I've got shoes that I've had for a year and a half that just won't sell. And some of them I've marked down to under $10, and they're brand new. So hopefully these Chuck Taylors will sell a little bit quicker. And the last thing was the rollers, when they did work. So those were $4. The air fryer / fondue maker was $3, and the Chuck Taylors were $6. So I ended up spending $12 and some change at Goodwill. When I got back home, I received a message from a buyer on eBay that had bought this book. Where did you get this book? How long did you have it before selling? I'm just wondering because I've had it sitting in a sealed plastic bag in the freezer for the past several days to hopefully remove the repugnant odor and possible mildew, but it doesn't appear to have subsided much. It literally smells terrible. The usual old book smell of broken down lignin isn't preferred, but it's at least usable. This book, however, is unbearable. I'll continue leaving it in the freezer for the next couple of days, but if its pugnancy doesn't decrease, then I don't know. Let me know. I don't even know where to begin with this one. This book was purchased at the bin store for 50 cents or $1. I don't remember which one, but I know it was one of those. And I didn't notice any really bad smells coming out of it. It was obviously an older book, but as far as a repugnant odor, no, I didn't detect anything like that. And obviously if I did, I wouldn't have sold the book, but really it was not stinky. So what I usually do on books like this is I'll just flip through them real quick just to make sure I don't see any torn out pages, any writing, any pages that are folded over, I'll fix. But I do just quickly flip through them just to make sure there's no issues. So if the book was as repugnant as this buyer claims, as I'm flipping through it, I probably would have smelled it. I would have also probably smelled it when I was listing it because it's sitting there, I'm taking pictures of it. And, you know, if it's that bad, I'm going to smell it. Now, he was questioning where I store the books. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know that just about every listed book that I can think of comes out of a bin. It's a plastic bin. It has a lid. Well, at least most of them have lids. And while where I live is super humid, it's stored inside in my house where it's climate controlled. You've probably heard my air conditioners running in, you know, videos from last summer. And I'm not going to be sweating walking around the house. So definitely climate controlled. and most of them are sealed up in bags. So I think my book storage is okay. The only books that aren't stored usually in bags and in a bin are ones that I haven't listed yet. I do know that this book was listed fairly quickly, but again, when I was handling the book, before I bought it, I looked at it. After I bought it, I looked at it, I listed it, placed it in a bag, placed it in a bin. There wasn't any bad odor there. So I didn't know about the freezer thing, putting books in a bag in the freezer. I had no idea about that, but I guess that's a thing. But I got a feeling this buyer is also fishing for partial refund, maybe a whole refund. I don't know. The book was $12. I think he was all in at around 16 or 17 and some change. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm just going to refund him and again throw money at it to make it go away. But I really don't want negative feedback from this, but I don't know where these buyers are coming from these days. Maybe just because I've been selling more, but you know, my friend Kim who resells, she gets the worst buyers. And I joke with her all the time about, man, where do you find these buyers? But it seems like lately I'm getting my fair share of the same types. So anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do about it. Like I said, I may just refund them because I'm only going to be out, you know, probably 50 cents on the book and less than £1 medium mail shipping rate. So $5.50, something like that. And I guess it's just, I look at it as much as I hate to do it, I just look at it as it's the cost of doing business. And in the grand scheme of things, at least for the most part, the percentage of buyers who pull this crap is fairly low. So I'll probably just send them a message and refund them. But yeah, that's the repugnant book story. So I guess that's going to do it for this one. Look, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. But really, if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, please consider subscribing. You know, for people who make videos, the magic number is 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. And I'm just about at the watch hours. Unfortunately, I'm still 300 and I guess about 350 subscribers away from that 1,000 subscriber mark. And I would really like to get there if possible. So please consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching. Watch out for those stinky books, and I'll see you in the next video.